so this is the second of the inequalities videos. The first one was one-step inequalities, and now we're going to work on graphing those inequalities. Okay. As always, after you take the Schoology quizzes that are embedded in this video, if you want to watch it again on your devices, and if it's easier, you can go to the YouTube page, CHMSCoachWilson. Alright, in your books on page 313, you can also see more examples of graphing inequalities. Okay, now just kind of backtrack a little bit. I want you to see this one. Okay, this is an equation. Okay, x equals 6. It's an equation because it says equals. Now, we didn't graph equations. There's a very good reason for that. It's boring. Okay, so x can only be one number. That number is 6. So if you have a number line and I wanted to shade all the places where x could be, this is what it would look like if I said let's graph this equation. And that'd be it. A big closed dot right there on the 6. So that's why we didn't graph equations, because it's just a big dot. Now, with inequalities, what you're saying is, okay, x could be a bunch of stuff. If we have something like this, then that is the less than symbol, and that means x can be all the infinity of numbers less than a 6. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, forever and ever. Okay? If we have this symbol, that means x can be all the numbers bigger than a 6, because this is the greater than symbol. So it could be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? And then you have these symbols. That means it could also be or include a 6. Okay? Alright, so let's get started. We'll go through the steps for graphing the equations. Okay? So if you need to look back at these at any time, these are the 3 steps. It's pretty simple. Okay? Step 1, you want to draw your number line. Okay? So this is not completed yet, so just don't pay attention to this. But this will be your number line. And I, Coach Wilson, want 3 numbers. The one that you solve for, and then one below and one above. Okay? Later on, some teachers may want 5 numbers, 2 on each side. But for me, just 1 on each side is good. Okay? Then, second, after you solve the inequality, you have to decide if I'm going to put an open or a closed dot. Alright, so for instance, let's say we solve this inequality and we find out that a is less than a negative 4. Okay, so first we're going to draw a number line and we're going to label negative 4 there. If we go one further down, this is always less, or going down, this is always greater, and going up to the right. Okay, left is less. Okay, if you can just remember left is less, then the other way is greater. Okay, so going to the left is always going less. So negative 4, negative 5, because you're on the negative side, is to be negative 3. Okay, if you keep going, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and then positive 1, 2, 3. Alright, now if it is a less than symbol, that means that a cannot be 4. So if I said, what are some numbers less than a negative 4? Negative 4 could not be one of them. Alright, so the answer for this one would be this way. Okay, and this is shade the variable to either the left or to the right. So I'm shading to the left because a, which is what we're looking for, we want to find this variable, is less. So this is to the left. Alright, so what would happen? So we'd have to shade to the right. Well, that would be pretty simple. Now a is greater than negative 4. So instead of shading this way, we would shade this way. Okay, you don't have to color it in really dark. You just have to show the teacher that you're shading in one way. Okay, alright, but you're still going to have an open circle because you're not including the 4. Okay, so a, it's opened up to a, so you're shading this way. So all the answers could be over here. So a could be negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, a billion, whatever. Okay? Alright, now, what if it's got one of these on it? So now it's or equal to. Well, it's still shaded this way, but a could be greater than negative 4 or equal. That's like half of an equal sign. So you will put a closed dot. So if it's got an or equal to, it's going to be closed. Alright, so for the opens and close, if it's a closed dot, that means you have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And if it's open, that's because you have a less than or a greater than. And again, that's on page 313 in your book if you need to go see that again. Closed dots if it has or equal to, opens if there's no or equal to. Okay? Alright, now, really quickly, what if the variable is on this side? Okay? And then I said a is, or negative 4 is less than a. Okay? Do not say to yourself, oh, well, this arrow is going this way, so I shade this way. It's the a, this variable, that you want to shade. Okay? So first it's going to be open, because it's just a less than. So it's going to put an open circle on the line, not above it, not below it, right on the line. Okay? But a is what you're shading. It's open to the a, so the a is big, so it's greater. So you're going to shade this way. You shade to whatever is opened up to the variable. So if it's opened up and it's eating the a, remember the alligator? Okay, that means the a is big, so you want to shade to the big side. Alright, if it's this way, now it's pointing at the a and going, ha ha ha, you're small. So you want to shade to the less side. Okay, notice that the inequality symbol is pointing that way, but you're shading this way because you're shading where the variable is. If it's pointing at the variable, that means that's less. Okay? And again, if it's underlined, it's closed. Okay? Alright, and again, come back and watch this video if you have questions, or on 313 you can read it in your book. Now, time for a couple of quick questions. Okay? Alright, hope you did pretty good. Happy mathing.